What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist being joined by
Gersh1.
And today we're back to answer more questions from you guys, the community, in another epic installment of For the Greater.
Ooh, that was a really good one. I think I got it because I'm sick, so the little gurgles got really nice. So this is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewers. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we'll get those questions first. Now, if you think that I look pale, that's because I am very pale. This question comes from...
Oh, I lost it. No.
Oh, no, I don't even remember what it was.
Hold on. I know I'm close. That's what she said. Okay, this one's by Zappy Creed. Who would win in a fight between the Emperor of Mankind or the Silent King?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, so I think we could cover this in two different ways. One, literally the Emperor in his prime, I guess, against the Silent King currently. And then two, would it be possible for the Silent King in the current timeline to make his way all the way to Terra, get inside the Golden Throne, and actually kill the Emperor?
Right. So I think the Emperor at his prime against the Silent King, the Emperor got it. I think a one-on-one match, none of their bodyguards, none of their stuff, like the Emperor got it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because the Emperor struggled to take down the Catan Shard. Well, it wasn't even a Catan Shard. Struggled to take down the Void Dragon.
Yep.
But you look at the Silent King, and what does he have above himself? An encased Catan.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, just one-on-one, no extra buffs.
Right, but I'm saying, like, if the Emperor was barely able to take down the Void Dragon, and you see the Silent King taking down a Catan, at least you would assume that the Silent King would be stronger based on that feat.
Yeah, no, but like we know how the Catan were tricked into being destroyed. They were shattered, and they were shattered by the armies. They weren't really shattered by the individual.
True.
Because it goes back to that whole thing of like, the High Lords and how powerful the High Lords were. We talked about this in like a previous video.
Mm-hmm.
By themselves, like just them, they're not powerful beings. What makes them powerful is the actions that they can do.
Their influence.
Yeah, their influence and all that. And so I feel like the because even like not the Cicatrice Maledictum, what is it called? The Star Titan, no, not Star Titan Nexus. What's the thing that the Necrons are doing right now? Where like they're nullifying an entire sector of space.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's not the Silent King. The Silent King hired it's either a Cryptech or some other dude. I think it's that guy. But he hired that guy to like create this web of nullification. So like he's the kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
The cool thing about the Emperor is not only is he the kingpin, but he has like the might to show for it too.
Right. Yeah.
He has his sword and all that kind of stuff.
He's like the Thanos. He can actually go out there and like,
Go
back
toe
up
to toe with like the Hulk.
Oh, yeah. Thanos pieced him up. Remember that?
I don't remember now.
At the beginning of Infinity War?
Oh yeah, did he have the gauntlet though?
No, without the gauntlet.
Damn.
He even took off his helmet and he's like, "All right, let's go."
Yeah. Well, that's what I feel like the Emperor is. Like at his prime, he's like god level almost.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was just bringing up that in terms of like people are going to bring up, well, look at the Catan, look what happened. But yeah, I think the Emperor's got it, honestly.
Now, can the Silent King enter the Golden Throne and just stab him? The Necrons entered Mars without anybody knowing.
Yeah.
So maybe not like the inner sanctum, but I'm pretty sure he can get on Terra.
Right, because you got to think like the technology of these Necrons are just mind-boggling. If you think you could take them on, like they'll just phase right through you. They can change, what is it? They got chronomancers, which can warp time. They've got plasmancers and stuff like that, which can affect blood, fear, and stuff like this. So they have a lot going for them that like the Imperium doesn't even know what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's defended, the most heavily defended place in the entire Imperial space. You have Adeptus Custodes right then and there. But at the same time, I feel like the technology of the Necrons it's just so overwhelming that I feel like that they could do it.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think they could do it.
Yep. That would be really cool, especially like because if that did happen, then it's like the Imperium versus the Necrons, but like at a whole new scale of like the Imperium has to throw their best warriors at this threat,
right?
And obviously the Necrons have to come at them with the best of their best.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's like, will the Necrons mitigate like the warp with like their Blackstone and all this stuff? What's it called?
Yeah, Blackstone.
I thought it had a different name. No, Noctilith.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah.
That'd be interesting. Cutting off the Emperor from the warp and then killing his physical body. Maybe that'll trap the Emperor and he won't be able to ascend to godhood.
Yeah. Or it will create the God Emperor.
Yeah.
But then what would happen to the warp gate that he's protecting?
Right.
It explodes. Oh, but then the Necrons would probably nullify that whole thing. Create a pylon where the Emperor used to stand. That'd be crazy. This question comes from Demandela Bird. How often are you guys out of the house / home doing something when you get an idea for a video, and what do you do to keep track of this idea, I guess? It happens to me mostly in the mornings when I take my pre-workout, and then after I come home from the gym when I'm in the shower. For some reason, the shower gives me really good ideas. Mm-hmm. And what do I do to keep that on track? I don't. I let it just whisk away.
Yeah. I find it that I always get all these ideas, all this inspiration when I'm at work. I even have like a little notepad where I jot things down. But the moment I go home, I'm just beat.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just do this tomorrow. Or I've got all my notes on the little notepad. I'll come back to it tomorrow. And then it's just a cycle where I have all these notes and I have ideas and thoughts, but it's just like as soon as I go home, like the inspiration gets ripped out of me.
Yeah. And I think what it is too is like the vicious cycle of like posting every day. That is what kind of kills it, because it's like you can have an idea, but it requires a week's worth
Right.
of writing, researching, and creating it, editing, and all that kind of stuff. And it's not going to do the same as you posting bullshit videos 5 days a week. So it's tricky.
Yeah. It's like the other day, like I'm done with the lore for like my Celestial Sons. After 6 months, I finally like got out of that whole slump of like writer's block, and it's done. It's ready to be read. But then comes the thing where it's like, oh, well, this new thing showed up on Warhammer Community, or you got this new thing to talk about. And it's like, well, I got to talk about these two things, but then I got to put this in the back burner. And I know that's going to take time, like you said. Mm-hmm. So it's this whole time management thing. And it's something to kind of work through.
Yeah. And for all those asking like, oh, well, how do you guys do it? We don't.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Right. This one's by Grammataton 6 Lyric. High key, I would like to see Gersh in some ashless chaps. And can we get some concealer on those pimples, though?
No, I like my pimples. Leave them alone.
Yeah, it shows us how vulnerable we are.
And you would be surprised how, like, I think they're called Romanian deadlifts. Or no, hack squats. They really do lift your butt. So try it. This question comes from Demandela Bird. If Games Workshop were to come up to you and say, make me a piece of lore to add to a codex, what kind of lore would you add?
It'd probably be the opposite, honestly. But I really want more lore on the Unification Wars. Like, give us a whole book, a little animation, something. But yeah, I feel like whatever it is, whatever lore we give them to add, I want them to animate it or to do something more with it.
Yeah. I feel like I would be super selfish and be like, let me create my own chapter. And then I would create my own chapter of like Space Marines and stuff like that.
And they'll add it in a little excerpt on a white dwarf, and that's it.
That's fine. Because like a lot of the cool like Instagram dudes did that. Like they created like little rogue trader factions.
Yeah.
And their models look amazing, and they just become part of
yeah.
Even though I would kind of like the I think they were an Imperial Fist successor chapter. Oh, the Sons of Dorn. The Sons of Dorn. The lore of the Sons of Dorn was actually written by a like player.
Yeah, wasn't it like a winner of a contest or something like that?
He won a contest, and that lore is huge. Like it's long. Mm-hmm. So that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. But honestly, I want it to focus more on Xenos. Because again, nowadays it's all Imperium this, Space Marine that, Primaris this. It's like, show the Xenos some love.
Yeah.
Although Unification War stuff is pretty cool.
It is, yeah.
This one's by All Might. Can humans devolve in the 40K universe?
Devolve? Yeah. That's what abhumans are.
Technically, yeah, kind of.
I don't even know if you would call it devolving, because like Ogrins are stronger than humans. That's a plus.
Yeah.
The fact that you're dumber for it.
You're losing cognitive function for muscle mass.
Yeah.
Some people will do that now.
Yeah. What's funny too, I saw a TikTok today and it was talking about how like human evolution, or just like evolution in general, doesn't really care about like your thoughts. Like somewhere down the line, humans evolve the ability to think in the future and in the past, and that provided them better lives so that they can procreate and do all that kind of stuff. What it also did though is it caused anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff. But evolution doesn't care about your anxiety or your depression. All it cares about is like, you could still use this ability to think for the future and the past in order to like procreate. So yeah,
Don't worry about the now. It's all about the next.
Yeah. Well, no, I think you're supposed to live in the now, like most animals do. That's why most animals, you won't see like a rabbit being depressed, because he lives in the now. He's not thinking about the future. At least I don't think he is. But I think like when it comes to de-evolution, what is de-evolution? You know what I mean? Like evolution is supposed to be adapting to the circumstances that are now. So I don't know. Squats evolved squattier bodies.
This one's by Nico. Since the Farside enclaves have abolished the usual caste separation rules, do we know if any Tau caste hybrids were born out there? The thing about GW is that they don't really give us much info with the progression of many races, especially with the Tau. I feel like they gave us the sphere expansion, but they didn't really go into the Farside enclaves. They didn't really go into what's happening in like the actual SEP worlds. They're just like, oh, this is a new expansion. This is what's happening here. And that's all you get. So we're kind of left in the dark about how the Farside enclaves are operating, how they're functioning, what they're fighting against, what they're actually doing. And this whole thing about hybrid castes is something that we don't know if it even is a thing. Because again, the whole ethereals being in control of the Tau, that's why they put everybody into castes, to make them better suited at each individual task that they were bred for. So once they start intermingling, it'd be interesting to see how the squattier bodies of the Earth caste can mingle with like the more aggressive fire caste, and vice versa. So
You can get some super thick fire warriors that way, I'm guessing.
Or some tall, skinny
Dump truck having, yeah. Oof.
dump truck.
Have you ever seen that, like the models with the dump truck? Who like they look skinny, but they just their bottom half is like, yep, you're ready to have an entire set of twins. It's pretty nice. TikTok knows what I like. This question comes from. Did we answer everything? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
The Mandela Bird. How's your week been? Anything interesting happen at work, the gym, the commute?
Every day something interesting happens. It's just whether you remember it or it comes out as interesting to you.
That's true. The same thing with negative stuff, because like the other day, my car wouldn't start. And then like, instead of stressing out about it, I was just like, oh cool, this is like a little puzzle that I got to figure out now. Turned out to be the battery, which is an easy like fix. But like, because my car has been through so much shit, it's like, who knows what little intricate little device is broken in my car. Yeah. But no, it was just a simple. And then like, because I didn't let that get to me, and then yeah. So it's all about like what you remember
and how you interpret it. Because usually a car not starting is like, oh no, I gotta get it fixed and it's gonna cost this much. Yeah. But no, you looked at it with a adeptus mechanicus mind.
Yes, I prayed. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, I haven't been feeling good, obviously, as you could hear. So it's been very weird to go into restaurants, stores, or like even the movies while you're coughing and you keep like your nose is all stuffy, because everybody thinks, oh shit, he has COVID. I don't. I got tested. I'm good. But they still act that way.
It's the whole stigma of like, cough. Oh no, it's a witch. Brand him.
Yep. There's been so many people trying to brand me.
Poking and prodding you.
Yeah, they try to tie me, like tie my arms to my legs.
And you're like,
Put me
oh
on a stick.
no. You're like running in like a horror movie and you trip. Don't tie me up. Don't chain me.
Yeah.
Wink.
Next question.
This one's by Brian B. Has there ever been any mentions of a deep warp? And what do you think would be in it? So the warp is kind of separated into many pieces or places, especially when you come in contact with like the 4 chaos gods. Like you have the gardens of Nurgle, the labyrinths of Zeech, and then you also have like just the wastes. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, the ash wastes.
Ash wastes. So you have chaos entities that aren't, you have warp entities that aren't chaos aligned.
Yep.
Like the Psychnuan, you've got those weird whale things.
Yeah.
Weird whale things.
That's a tongue twister.
Yeah. So who knows what aspects of the warp hasn't been covered by GW that they haven't thought of yet or given us more lore on. So,
but that would be the deep warp.
Mm-hmm.
The ash wastes. That's where you can be creative and be like, there's vampires here.
Which there are.
Yep. This question comes from Grand Patterson. Should GW be despised now for shockingly bad things that they have done lately? They have essentially said, we are banning creativity unless it conforms to what we and only we say. We are also banning anyone using our universe, even though everything we have is due to those same people. I think it's a little bit blown out of proportion. I think what happened was animators were getting tapped on the shoulder and basically saying like, hey, we're trying to, and the reason for this is that they're trying to develop Warhammer, what is it called?
Warhammer Plus.
Warhammer Plus.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what they did with Star Wars, where they're trying to like do it, like create a clean slate. Like if you want animation for 40K, you need to come to us, is what they're trying to say. I don't think they're banning tabletop people yet, are they?
Well, that's the thing. Because basically everything you see on YouTube, they're going to be doing on Warhammer Plus. So if this is a starting point, that it could go with everything. Lore channels, battle reports, that kind of thing. So
yeah. But again, like, I think what you guys should, I think there should be like a angry
and there
mob
has been.
Yeah.
Because I mean, basically what animations are is just like showcasing the awesomeness of 40K to a grander audience. Mm-hmm. Like look how well Astartes did. Millions of views. You had people reacting to it that didn't even know what Warhammer was, introducing them to this new genre, this new IP.
Yeah.
And now you can't find it on YouTube. Yeah. Obviously you could find re-uploads of it, but you have to go specifically to Warhammer 40K's page and go through hurdles to find the Astartes animation.
Yeah.
And most people won't. They'll never see it because of that. Mm-hmm. So GW is kind of shooting themselves in the foot by taking away that free advertisement that all these fan animators were doing. It's like, well, now, like, it's like I get it, but I don't want to get it. I see what GW is doing. They're a company, you know, whatever. But at the same time, it kind of does suck. Because, like, the text-to-speech, that went away. Astartes went away. Sodas. All these things are going away. So it's like,
yeah, it's really difficult. The best way, I think we've said it in the past, is to hurt them in their wallet, too, mm-hmm. I guess.
But I feel like that's not going to be enough. Because it's like GW is going to be coming out with new codices, new models, and like the fan base is going to be like, yeah, GW sucks for doing it, but oh, my army got updated, or oh, my new favorite character got a model. It's like, well, you're going to kind of want to get that stuff.
Something that we've been seeing a lot in the comment section, I think, is boycotting, or like the concept of like not covering certain things. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of you guys listen to the lore, so not purchasing Black Library books, but then you don't get the actual lore that you've been looking for.
Right.
It's just a weird situation that GW has put themselves in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But it's like you said, they kind of do this in waves and cycles. Because like years before this kind of happened, not to this extent, I don't think.
I don't think there was that many people. There wasn't that big of a fan base on the internet.
Right.
Now it's way more people on the internet who keep talking about this, and it keeps being an issue, which is good because like if it's an issue, then the what is it called, the people in charge of like the community facing side of GW will start to like say, hey, to the legal side, hey, what you guys are doing is fucked up. Even though like they did it for Star Wars too. Like there's a YouTube channel, the dude who created the Dark Vader versus Mace Windu thing, he got contacted by Lucasfilm or Disney, and he got his stuff taken down, and it was the community like being aggressive towards Disney and Lucasfilm that ended up allowing him to come out with that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough.
Right. It's like as a company, it's like you're in it for like profit and stuff like that. And you see, oh, Astartes got 1 million views. Like, how come our stuff isn't doing that good?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's wishy-washy.
Yeah. And with that said, GW, don't destroy us. We buy your products all the time. I don't know.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think down in the comments. Keep the conversation going. And as always, keep asking questions, but put question in front of your question, because those are the questions we get to first.
Yes.
As always, I have been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershon.
And we are out.